Hey y'all. Alright, we're back out in the garage again, and as you can see, I am looking at the cylinder heads again. They have been the focus of the past couple of videos, but the cylinder heads are like really super important on any engine build, in my opinion. They're like right up there, you know. So, what you need to do, or what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to be checking the amount of volume the exhaust and the intake ports will handle. I'm going to just check maybe a couple of each at random, and then I'm going to record the numbers and then compare them to, like, you know, maybe some higher performance cylinder heads. Of course, mine probably won't get near what those are, but hey, at least it'll give me some sort of mark to shoot for. Okay? So, all right. Let's get on with it. First of all, I am. Oh, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And if you tuned into my previous video about cleaning parts and cleaning with the pressure washer, cleaning all your hardware up and stuff like that, if you tuned into that video, I forgot to mention that when you are drying the parts out, let them dry off, okay? And when they're drying, you can do this while they're drying or after they've completely dried. You can shoot them with some sort of penetrating oil, preferably something other than WD-40. I have a lot of problems with WD-40 because it just evaporates away, and I'm not really all that crazy about it. Now, what I'm using here as a fluid to measure is I'm using seafoam. I'm a big fan of seafoam. Works really exceptionally well. I thought I would use that in the ports here, and I would see what is the volume. Okay, so basically it's going to be a similar kind of program to the other night where I found out what the volume of the chamber was. This time I'm going to see what the volume of the ports are. Okay, so I'm going to write this down and record it and see what I've got. So let's see here. All right. You know what I'm going to do? This bottle in particular is really nice. This has CCs already recorded on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm starting out with 240 cc's. So let's see how much. We'll start with this one. Well, no, wait a minute, because one of these, I'm going to start with the end, because one of these goes into the heat riser crossover. So I'm going to do one of them on the end. Forgot I had to lean the head over because my port is angled. So started out with 240 cc's. Okay, we're down to, I'm going to say probably like 175 cc's. So 240 minus, let's see, 175. And so I will do a little mathification and figure this all out. Okay, and I'll get back to you and tell you what my exhaust port looks like. So be right back. Okay, y'all, I've done the math, and if I'm doing the math correctly, I basically have this. The exhaust side holds 100, or holds, I'm not sorry, it holds 65 cc's of fluid. Okay. Now, I did my intake side. My intake side holds 170 cc's of fluid. Okay. First, a little clearance. Why do this at all? Okay. Why should we be doing this? All right. Here's why. If you're porting the heads, especially under here in the bowl section, you need to know how much material did you remove. Now, I guess there's probably, you could use some sort of vacuum that would collect the material that you removed, and it could give you some idea of what you've done. But to be brutally honest, that sounds pretty expensive to me. So, a good easy way to do this is basically fill the chamber up with fluid, and then, or in this case, the port with fluid, and you can see how much material you removed. Hence, if you remove material, you're basically making that port larger, making it contain more fluid. And if it contains more fluid than stock, or, similar to, let's say, somebody's aftermarket head of some, let's say Edelbrock, okay, just as an example, then okay, hey, I've done pretty well. If it doesn't hold a lot of fluid, or it holds maybe just a little bit more than stock, then you think, well, okay, all right, maybe I need to do a little bit more, or maybe I need to, learn a little bit more and step up my game a little bit more. Okay, but here's the thing about porting stock heads. You're only going to be able to go so far. There's only going to be so much you can do. You're not going to be able to just go in there and just start hogging things out like crazy. All right? I'm much more of a person that I'm going to kind of err on the side of caution when it comes to porting a set of cast iron heads. Factory cast iron heads at that. Especially if they're not mine. Now, if in the event like something like this, I will go maybe just a little bit more, but there are tools called the Helgeson tool. They're a little pricey sometimes, but they will tell you how close you're getting to, like, say, this push rod hole here, okay? Or something else for that matter. That allows you to get some judgment as to, are we getting close here? Are we going to break through or not? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. I would imagine it would be like really just a real kick in the butt, or maybe even a kick in the gut, if you did like a ton of work porting a set of heads. You got down to the last port, the last chamber, whatever, and you were just going at it, and then all of a sudden, boom, you broke through. I would imagine that would be like just devastating, because you would have to, on that particular head, you'd have to start all over again. And that does not sound very fun to me. So, what should we be doing? Okay. This is one way of being able to tell, am I doing a pretty good job? Am I not? What am I doing here? It's just a good judgment. It's just a good way to judge if you've done a good enough job or not. Okay? That's basically what I'm trying to get at. And that's basically what I'm trying to tell you all how to do. Because some people look at porting cylinder heads and stuff like that as like some sort of black magic, black art, or it's just something that you do just on a race car engine. And that's just not the case. That's not always the case. All right, I'm going to have to move this up and then move it back. I'm trying not to drop it. Okay. I've got a tub down here ready to catch this fluid. So. Or some of the fluid anyway. Some of it just goes on my feet. So, okay. Let's see, got a little more fluid still left in the chamber, so let's turn her up. Be aware that the seafoam, it does have some alcohol in it, so it's a pretty good idea. If you open a can, go ahead and start using it pretty much immediately, okay? Alcohol is great stuff, but it will absorb moisture. This stuff I'm not going to use in the engine, okay? So, but anyway, I want you all to get the idea that, you know, porting cylinder heads is not for some, you know, mega experienced engine builder who has thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. It can be approached by virtually anyone out there who has a desire to improve the performance of a stock cylinder head. And there is a lot of people out there nowadays that, you know, has a lot of tutorials and information about it online. So don't, you know, cut yourself off there thinking that it's going to be something that, oh, I can't do that or something like that. Yeah, you can do it, okay? You can do it. So, all right. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Yes, you can do it, okay? So, don't discount yourself thinking that, you know, this is something that, you know, mega experts do it, you know, and all of this, you know. Here's the thing. Sure, you can get an engine. You can take it all apart. You can put new parts in it, like new bearings and seals and gaskets and rings, new piston rings and all of that. And you can do all of that stuff. And it's cool and it's great and it's awesome. And, you know, but let me stress to you about something. Until you start, you know, and yes, you can put you can take a stock engine, put a bigger cam in it, you can improve performance, you can change out the exhaust manifolds for headers, improve performance, you can change out the stock manifold, intake manifold, and get a better flowing intake manifold, let's say, you know, 4-barrel, you know, if we're talking carburetors, or maybe even a really nice 4-barrel fuel injection system, like a lot of them. What Holly has one. God, hell, everybody. It seems like everybody anymore has got one. But what I'm trying to get across to you is that making your own performance, you know, at home is not that hard to do. It used to be a long time ago. Everybody did that. You know, going out and buying aftermarket heads was something you just didn't do. Now, sure, yes, you can go out and buy heads that do flow better than your standard traditional cylinder head, and everybody will agree with that. But if you're not well versed on what heads to buy or something like that, you know, and maybe you just want to try doing this, you know, maybe just try a little bit of port matching at first, maybe advance into something a little bit more in depth. You know, lots of times I'll say, hey, start out with something simple. You got an old motorcycle engine, maybe an old lawnmower engine, something like that. There you go. Okay. Uh, Something along those lines. That's an easy way to judge, how well you're doing. Okay. Um, so, anyway, I want to say thank you so much to everybody for subscribing, following, watching, the thumbs ups, the likes, the shares, all of that. I really, really seriously do appreciate it, mean it. And I'm going to carry on now with doing a little bit more to the 360. It's Father's Day, so I want to enjoy it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. God bless.